that only comes with a high level of discipline. And that's what we're here to talk about today. But in reality, discipline is the cornerstone for success in any realm of life. Wow. Beast. Dude, that is impressive. And if you think you can do that without being disciplined and working on that skill for months, years, or even decades, you're crazy. It takes discipline to establish that type of precision and just manipulating the body that way and being able to make those turns and land a certain way. That takes precision that only comes with a high level of discipline. And that's what we're here to talk about today. Okay, it's not that serious. Sorry, I got into a bit of a serious tone there. But in reality, discipline is the cornerstone for success in any realm of life. And if you notice in that video, there are two things that require massive amounts of discipline that most of us will never understand. Of course, the motion and the movements that he's able to execute within that move or martial arts. I'm not sure what he's doing there. And two, of course, the physique to build that kind of muscle and dexterity and mobility and agility. I mean, that is very impressive. And I can guarantee you, I don't know anything about this dude, but he's been working on that for a very long time, easily a decade, if not more. All right, so this is mindset number 4. So before I forget, I want to say welcome to Mindset TV. Discipline is one of those traits that not everyone develops. Okay, so the ones that do have a huge advantage in life. And what I would recommend is that you look at discipline as something positive. But in our society, discipline has a negative connotation. Most people think of discipline as hard, as difficult, as annoying. It's an annoyance. But in reality, if you can change your mindset and understand that discipline is actually something positive, it is what remains after motivation is gone. So whenever you feel hyped up and you get started and you get that dopamine rush and you take on something new, a new challenge, okay, when that motivation is gone the next day or the next week or the next month, you need something to replace it. Otherwise, you will quit. And there's nothing better to replace motivation than discipline. Because discipline, once you establish it, once you make it into a skill, it's the one thing that will always be there. Okay, it's embedded. That's why discipline should be the number one goal when you start your personal development. And that's why it's mindset number 4 and not further ahead in the list. Because without the discipline, it's going to be hard to implement some of the things that are coming up in these mindsets. All right, I took some notes here and I want to share them with you. So understanding the difference between motivation and discipline is very important. When you start on your journey of personal development or personal improvement, and you're going to have to face certain challenges that are going to require discipline. If you solely rely on motivation, you're going to have issues at some point, because motivation is fleeting. It is an emotion, and you can't rely on emotions alone. Emotions change over time, but discipline is action. It is not temporary like motivation. Discipline is fixed, it's embedded, it's ingrained in your psyche. If you can become a disciplined person, you can apply discipline to different aspects of your life. Okay? Then secondly, you also want to build the daily rituals that are going to help you become a disciplined person. Discipline can really only be built through consistency. And that's why most people are not disciplined, because they're not consistent. They may work on something for a week, a month, or even a year. But if you don't keep things going consistently, you won't develop the skill of discipline. And I'll give you an example from my personal life. I decided to start a YouTube channel, and I noticed that I had said I would start a YouTube channel plenty of times. It was very motivating. I bought the camera, I bought the microphones, I made notes, but I would never record the video. And even sometimes I even recorded videos and didn't publish them. So that goes to show you can be very motivated, you can take action, but if you're not consistent and you don't build that discipline, it's not going to happen. So you want to build these daily habits, these rituals that you, independent of your motivation, your feelings, your emotions, right? Independent of that, you're going to take care of them. You're going to execute, and you're going to make things happen because you are disciplined. Okay. And so when you start off on this journey and you want to build this discipline, you're going to have to start small. Okay. You don't want to overwhelm yourself, especially if you're not used to being, consistent with hard things. Things that are difficult, they're challenging for a reason. They require discipline in order to get through that hard initial phase of anything, in order to, get past that and get into kind of like the what they call the flow or the groove, right? You must get past that first hump in order to keep things moving forward. And the cool thing about discipline is that if you can be consistent, you will actually build momentum. So in your personal development and personal improvement journey, momentum is going to be key, because there will be times when you feel fatigued, you feel tired, you feel unmotivated. And if you don't have that discipline, you can easily fall back into the traps from before. If you're trying to get away from a bad situation or some bad habits, I think having that discipline is what's going to help you get through it. It's going to make things a lot easier, and you're going to be more consistent with your victories and your efforts, of course. And it always helps to have an accountability partner. I hate to say it, but it does help. I don't rely on that, but because discipline is something very, very personal, right? If you are disciplined and you have goals and you force yourself and you face the challenges head on, that's something that comes from within. But sometimes being in a group or in a setting where there's other people maybe working on the same thing, and maybe having an accountability partner or a group does help. I would say that you want to start off on your own and test your ability to be disciplined and be consistent. And based on how you react to certain challenges, then make the decision of sharing some of your goals, some of your challenges with other people that are on the same mindset, that are on the same path. And maybe you can help each other out. But I don't rely on anybody else for this. Discipline comes from within. Consistency, only you see your consistency. When do you wake up? Do you read in the mornings? Do you skip workouts? Do you eat junk food when no one's looking and you're home alone? Okay, that's gonna be up to you, no one else. Another thing to consider when it comes to discipline is, what do you think of yourself? What is your identity? If you identify as someone who maybe isn't disciplined, then you won't be disciplined. So you really have to be careful with that internal monologue that runs inside your head all day long. Okay, you have to be careful that you don't tell yourself that you're not a disciplined person, because remember, we're trying to become. That's the key here. You must understand that everything that we're reviewing here is something that you are not, and you must become. We all change. When I was younger, I didn't really think people changed. And there are people who don't change. Yes, that's a fact. But that doesn't mean that they did not have the ability to change. They just chose not to change. So you have the ability. It is your choice. So embrace it and understand that you are able to change and you can change. You are here to change, because what you were before has gotten you nowhere. And where you want to be requires for you to be different. So you want to embrace all the challenges that are going to come up. And by embracing those challenges, you're working out your mind muscle. And some may kind of laugh at that a little bit, and I understand. I was like that before. But when you really start working on your mindset, you realize that it is a muscle and you can get stronger. Because when things do come up, you're going to react differently. And that's when you realize that you have changed, you have grown, and you are stronger mentally. Let me tell you how I build discipline in certain areas that I'm not accustomed. For example, in social media, I was not one to like post content or any of that stuff. I sporadically posted on my personal account. Then I had a business account, and I had not been consistent until I developed a system. And what is like the easiest system you can possibly develop for anything is just to do it all the time. And this might sound a little nutty, but it works for me. For example, for social media in this account that I'm using now, I post every single day. So that's my system. Just post every day, and I've been consistent. I started January 1st of 2025, and we are in November. So however many days that is, I have not stopped. I have been late at night, really exhausted and tired, and didn't want to post, but I went ahead and posted. Not everything is good. Not everything performed well, that's for sure. But the action of getting it done is what develops discipline. So at this point, we're already, over 300 days deep into this. I honestly, it's like second nature. You know what I mean? I just post. I know that I have to get it done. Yes, sometimes I wait a little bit longer because I'm busy, and I'll do it later on. But it's going to get done regardless. That's what discipline is. And that's not the best example, but even for working out, if you're not disciplined with your workouts, I'm going to give you a little hack. Okay? This is what you're going to do. You're going to decide that you work out every single day. Maybe it's 15 minutes, maybe it's 30 minutes, maybe it's 60 minutes, maybe it's 2 hours. But you work out every single day. If you develop that identity and you wire that into your brain, that you work out every single day, after like 10, 15, 20 days, you will start developing discipline. You will not want to miss a workout. You will start thinking in terms of positivity. Oh, I got to get this workout in because it's what I do. It's a positive thing, not a negative thing. So that's just a quick hack. I used it for social media. I use it for my daily walks. That's something that I do every single day. If I can't get 10,000 steps in, I'll get 5,000 steps in. If I can't get 5,000 steps in, I'll go around the block. But that is discipline. The act of doing something creates discipline. Okay, over time, you can combine discipline with quality of work. You can make sure that as you are being disciplined, you're also improving, and that comes with sometimes with like a feedback loop where you kind of analyze what you've done over and over, and then you improve it, and then you reiterate and iterate. But yeah, so that's just a little hack. I actually want to share something with you guys real quick. It's kind of late right now, but I thought it would be a good moment to share this with you before I move on to mindset number 5, which I'm going to record probably tomorrow, Sunday, because I am disciplined. I'm working on my Time to Grow program and workbook. Okay, the workbook is almost ready. I want to share that with you guys very, very soon. I'm going to be doing a video after, probably tonight actually, because I can't squeeze it in tomorrow, but I'm going to be doing a video on the first 10 days of the Time to Grow program, which in its entirety is designed to be a 100-day program. But I want to share the first 10 days of that in a detailed video that I'm going to put up this week. The reason why I called it Time to Grow is because just like with discipline, there's always that first day. It's the day that you take action. It's that first of many days that you're going to be consistent if you are disciplined. And the same thing applies to, time to grow. When you decide that it's time for you to change, it is time for you to grow, it is time to take on the challenges that you've been shying away from for years, that there's always that one day. And I want that one day for some of you guys to be today. Okay? Yes, you're watching the video. Yes, you're taking notes, I hope. But what are you doing so that today is your first day? Your first day of the new you. Discipline, consistency, growth starts somewhere. Let's make that today. Okay? For me, Time to Grow represents my transition from being shy and not wanting to get online, not wanting to be on camera, not public speaking, to a progression of improvement to where I can build something up from scratch. A YouTube channel is not easy. A YouTube channel is non-existent until you take that first step and you post that first video. And I did that. And now I want you guys to take action. I want you guys to go ahead and take that first step to improving yourself and developing the discipline that will be required for upcoming challenges. So I want to challenge you guys. I want today to be your first day. The same way that I posted my first YouTube video, I think it was 2 weeks ago, that was my first day. The same way that I started going to the gym after a 7-year hiatus, the day that I got separated from my ex, the same day I went to the gym, signed up. That was my day one. The same way that January 1st was my first day of posting daily on social media, I want today to be that day for you. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be social media, it doesn't have to be the gym. Whatever it is that you guys need to do to jumpstart this process, I want this to be your day one. Okay, and very soon, if you need help with that, the Time to Grow workbook will be ready. Very, very soon. I think in the meantime, if you look at the description, there is a wait list. I don't like to build wait lists, but I think I'm gonna put it in there because some people need it. Some people need this workbook. So if that's you, take that first step, get on the wait list, and when it is ready, you'll receive an email. Okay, this workbook is what can jumpstart this process for you. It is a 100-day program. It's a DIY. The workbook, you can manage it yourself. Okay, in the future, you will have an option to get assistance, but at least start there. All right, start with the workbook. Days 1 through 10 are all about figuring out where you stand, and then days 11 through 20 is to figure out how you got there. It's all about taking accountability for the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, so that's all I have. Remember, this is your day one. Don't waste it. Peace.